General Hospital spoilers reveal that Chase is in a state of extreme shock as the truth about Gio is finally revealed. He is not only confronted with the fact that Brooke Lynn has a child she never mentioned, but the more shocking truth is that Dante, his closest friend, is Joe's biological father. Everything he once believed about his marriage to Brooke Lynn is now falling apart. He feels betrayed, not just by his wife but also by the friend he trusted the most. This is not just a hidden family secret, but a truth powerful enough to completely alter the way Chase views his life and the relationships around him. Inside Chase, a storm of emotions is raging. He had always believed that Brooke Lynn was the one person he could rely on, the one he could share everything with, but now the truth shows that she has hidden the most important part of her life from him. Learning that Dante is also involved in this secret makes Chase feel pushed to the periphery, as if he were just a replacement, someone who never truly belonged to this family. The fact that Chase has just discovered he is infertile makes the shock even heavier. He had hoped that he and Brooke Lynn could build a family, no matter how. But now, Brooke Lynn has a child, a grown child who has always been right in front of them, and the child's father is Dante. Chase cannot help but wonder if Brooke Lynn ever truly gave her heart to him, or if she has always kept part of herself for Dante and the past they shared. Now, Chase doesn't know what to do next. Can he forgive Brooke Lynn for keeping this secret from him? Can he continue this marriage knowing the family he wanted has always existed without him? And more importantly, can he keep working with Dante without allowing resentment to consume his mind? These events are placing Chase at a pivotal moment in his life. He is no longer the supportive husband he once was. Now, he is a man who is wounded, struggling with feelings of betrayal and loss. This will completely change how he views himself, Brooke Lynn, and the future he once thought he could have. As the truth continues to spread, Port Charles may witness a major shift in Chase's life. Will he find a way to forgive and move on, or will this hurt push him down a path no one can predict? One thing is certain, Chase, Brooke Lynn, and Dante's relationship will never be the same again. Lois and Gloria are quietly carrying out their own plans, trying to control the situation and protect Brooke Lynn from the worst consequences. However, their calculations are only making things more tense. Chase, who has already been deeply hurt after the truth about Gio was exposed, cannot accept what is happening around him. Not only does he feel betrayed by his wife, but also by her entire family, who have kept the truth hidden from him all these years. From the very beginning, Chase believed he was building a solid life with Brooke Lynn, a future they could both nurture together. But now, everything he once trusted has crumbled. He had hoped that, even if they couldn't have children in the natural way, he and Brooke Lynn could find another way to become a family. But the harsh reality is that Brooke Lynn had a child before, a child she chose to hide from him, and the father of that child is Dante, Chase's best friend. This not only damages his self-esteem but also makes him feel like an outsider in his own life. Chase cannot accept that Lois and Gloria knew the truth but stayed silent, letting him live in deception. He feels as though he has never truly been a part of the Quartermain family, that everything was just a staged performance to keep him with Brooke Lynn while hiding the whole truth from him. The anger and hurt have reached their peak, and now, he no longer sees any way to salvage this marriage. Everything explodes when Chase finally makes the decision he has been struggling with for the past few days: he will divorce Brooke Lynn. This is no longer an emotional decision but a choice he believes will free him from the lies and pain. He cannot continue living in a marriage where trust has been completely shattered. Although his heart still loves Brooke Lynn, his rational mind tells him that they can never go back to how things were. Chase's decision will have unpredictable consequences. Brooke Lynn will certainly not let him go without a fight, but can she convince him that their love is worth saving? Dante will also be deeply affected by this, knowing that he not only has a child but is also the indirect cause of his best friend's marriage falling apart. Lois and Gloria may try to settle things, but this time, Chase doesn't want to hear any excuses. Chase's departure may mark a significant turning point in his life. Will he leave Port Charles to escape the pain he just endured? Or will he stay, but as a completely different person, one who has lost faith in love and the relationships around him? One thing is certain, the divorce of Chase and Brooke Lynn will not only affect them but will also shake Port Charles to its core, pulling everyone involved into a whirlpool of tension and upheaval. Chase cannot accept what has just happened. The truth about Gio has completely shattered his world, turning everything he once believed in into an endless nightmare. He feels as though he has lived a lie for so long, and now, with everything out in the open, he has no choice but to leave and find himself again. Brooke Lynn, the woman he once loved with all his heart, has hidden a huge secret about her past. Not only that, but the biological father of Gio is Dante, his closest friend. Chase doesn't just feel betrayed in his marriage, he feels as though he never truly belonged to this family. Brooke Lynn's relatives, especially Lois and Gloria, may think they are protecting her by keeping the truth hidden, but to Chase, all they've done is push him further away. Chase no longer trusts anyone in the Quartermain family, and every time he sees them, he only remembers the things that have been concealed for all these years. He once thought his marriage would be his foundation, but now it is the thing that has made him lose faith in love, in family, and in himself. Unable to find a reason to stay in Port Charles, Chase starts to seriously consider leaving town. He cannot continue living in this pain, waking up every day to face the people who have hurt him. He needs a fresh start, a place where he can heal his wounds without being reminded of the painful memories. And there is no better place than to live with Finn and Violet. Finn, the brother he has always trusted, might be the only support Chase has left now. Violet, the little niece, is the only light in his life amidst these dark days. With them, Chase can put the past aside and search for the peaceful life he's longed for. He needs a place to think, to decide what he wants for the future, and perhaps leaving Port Charles is the only way he will find the answer. However, Chase's departure will have significant consequences for those left behind. Brooke Lynn will certainly not let him go without trying to keep him. She knows she's made mistakes, that she's hurt him deeply, but is their love strong enough to heal this rift? Chase has always been supportive of Brooke Lynn, always been by her side no matter what happened. But now, he's not sure if he can forgive her. Dante, Chase's best friend, will also face the repercussions of this truth. He never thought he had a child with Brooke Lynn, and now, the existence of Gio not only changes his life but also destroys the friendship between him and Chase. How can Chase continue working with Dante when his heart is filled with hurt and resentment? Can Dante do anything to fix this mistake, or has everything between them been permanently changed? The Quartermain family may try to persuade Chase to stay, but this time, he doesn't want to hear any more excuses. They've hidden the truth all these years, and now that everything has come to light, Chase doesn't have the strength to forgive. Not only does this affect his personal life, but Chase's departure will also mean the loss of one of the best officers at the Port Charles Police Department. Chase is one of the town's most honest and dedicated cops, and if he leaves, the police force will be severely impacted. His colleagues, especially Dante, will have to face the huge gap he leaves behind. Who will replace him? Who will take on the responsibility of protecting Port Charles when one of its best has decided to leave? But the most important question remains, will Chase truly leave for good, or is this just a way for him to find peace before coming back stronger? If he leaves, can he leave all the painful memories behind, or will the past continue to haunt him no matter where he goes? And if he ever decides to come back, will Port Charles still have a place for him? Chase's departure will be a major turning point not only in his life but in the entire storyline of General Hospital. Those left behind will have to face the consequences of their decisions, and Port Charles will never be the same again. But whether Chase stays or goes, one thing is certain, his life will never be the same, and what happens next will be one of the most dramatic stories the audience has ever witnessed. Brooke Lynn is now in a state of deep regret as she realizes that her actions have pushed Chase away and put their marriage on the brink of collapse. The truth about Gio has been hidden from her for years, and now the consequences are crashing down on her fiercely. She always thought keeping this secret was the best way to protect everyone, but now she realizes that her silence has caused irreparable pain. However, what makes Brooke Lynn feel even more betrayed are Lois and Gloria, who have always pushed her to keep the truth hidden. Brooke Lynn has listened to them all these years, believing that hiding Joe's existence was the right thing to do. But when everything came out and the consequences grew more severe, she realized that her mother and grandmother had manipulated her all this time. Instead of helping her face the truth, they pushed her further into a web of lies, and now, Brooke Lynn is the one who has to bear the heaviest consequences. Lois and Gloria were once the two people Brooke Lynn trusted most, but now she feels as if they are no longer the family she can rely on. Everything they've advised only made things worse, and now, she doesn't want to hear any more justifications. The confrontation between Brooke Lynn and Lois and Gloria has erupted as she accuses them of putting her in an impossible position. She no longer wants to live by their decisions, and for the first time, Brooke Lynn decides to stand up against her mother and grandmother. The internal conflict within the Cerullo family is intensifying. Lois, who has always prided herself on raising Brooke Lynn to be a strong woman, is now facing rebellion from her own daughter. Gloria, who has witnessed everything from the beginning, is also feeling the pressure as she sees the family fracturing. They once thought they were protecting Brooke Lynn, but now they realize they've made her feel isolated. What makes the situation worse is that Brooke Lynn is completely losing her faith in the Cerullo family. She feels trapped in outdated traditions, principles, and decisions that never truly belonged to her. Meanwhile, her life is collapsing right before her eyes. Chase has left, her marriage is on the brink of collapse, and Dante is also struggling with conflicting emotions upon discovering he has a child he never knew about. Brooke Lynn is now faced with a crucial decision. Can she continue her relationship with Lois and Gloria, or will she completely cut herself off from her family to rewrite her own life story? She's too tired of living by their design, and this time, she wants to make decisions for herself. But if she cuts ties with Lois and Gloria, it means she will lose the people who have been there for her throughout her life. As the Cerullo family faces a crisis, Brooke Lynn knows that the most important thing now is to salvage what is left of her life. But she also realizes that perhaps she has lost Chase forever. Can she find a way to fix her mistakes, or has everything gone too far to turn back? And can the Cerullo family overcome this crisis, or will this be the end of their relationships? One thing is certain, Port Charles is about to witness one of the most intense family confrontations it has ever had, and when the dust settles, no one can predict what will happen next. Dante and Brooke Lynn now have no choice but to face the truth and decide what to do about Joe's future. The boy's existence has been kept a secret for many years, and now that everything has been exposed, they must act. But the issue isn't just deciding who will raise Gio, it's also about how they will deal with the consequences of this deception. Dante is still trying to adjust to the reality that he has a child he never knew about. Becoming a father to a grown child wasn't something he ever imagined, and he doesn't know if he can make up for the lost time. Gio grew up without him, and now, although Dante wants to fulfill his responsibilities as a father, he can't force the boy to accept him immediately. This makes Dante worried, not knowing where to start or if Gio will accept him. Meanwhile, Brooke Lynn is also facing her own confusing emotions. She has kept this secret for years, not just from Chase but also from Dante. Now that the secret has been revealed, she doesn't know if she can be a part of Joe's life. She doesn't want to force him to change everything just because the truth has come out, but she also doesn't want to give up her role as a mother. However, the issue isn't just personal feelings. Dante and Brooke Lynn need to decide if they want Gio to live with them, and more importantly, if the boy wants that. Over the years, Gio has had his own life, growing up in another family. An abrupt change could have a significant impact on his emotional well-being. Is bringing him back to his biological parents the right decision? Or should they let Gio continue his life without interfering too much? Tensions are escalating as Brooke Lynn and Dante realize that they not only have to face themselves but also the people around them. Chase, although having decided to leave Brooke Lynn, still has complicated feelings about Gio being in her life. He once thought they would build a family, but now, the fact that Brooke Lynn already had a child with Dante has shattered all his hopes. The Quartermaine and Falconeri families also have differing views on this situation. Tracy and Lois may have contrasting reactions about Brooke Lynn wanting to get her son back, while Olivia will certainly have a lot to say about Dante having a child she never knew about. This situation is becoming one of the most explosive events in Port Charles, and no one can predict the final outcome. Can Dante and Brooke Lynn figure out a way to raise Gio together, or will this tension push them further apart? Will Gio be ready to accept the truth and embrace his biological parents, or will he feel hurt by everything that has been hidden from him for all these years? One thing is certain, there is no easy path, and this decision will change everyone's lives forever.